Good day, good day, good day, and welcome to the Trash Picture Show. Today I am reviewing the last two figures my wonderful girlfriend Jen Mitchell got me for Valentine's Day. And I gotta say, I saved the best to last because I wanted to review these guys a bit closer to the release of X-Men 97. That's going to be coming out in Disney Plus. I think the week after next. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, these are the Marvel Legends X-Men animated series figures, and I love both the packaging and the figures themselves. I'll get into the figures themselves. But yes, you might have noticed these aren't collector friendly boxes, Martin. You love your collector friendly boxes. They may not be collector friendly boxes, but what they are is a nice recreation of the old X-Men VHS sets you could get back in the day. I love that. I don't know back in the day if you can remember. Sometimes if you went into Burger King or McDonald's, you'd get a VHS of maybe one or two episodes of the Ninja Turtles or X-Men. Yeah, this is a recreation of them. And again, I just love the detailing on the side. MVL, Marvel Video Legends. I like that. That's pretty cool. This one's Jean Grey. It's got a picture of Jean on the side profile here and here. Flip to the back and it shows the figure. X-Men Jean Grey, possessing near limitless psychic potential. Jean Grey is Charles Xavier's first student and could someday become the greatest psychic on Earth and beyond. And the other one is Mystique, Marvel's Mystique. And again, they went for the whole VHS kind of look to the package as well. I like that. It's weird. We never really had these kind of VHS boxes in Ireland, bar the ones you could get in, say, the likes of McDonald's or Burger King. We mainly had the clamshells. But the fact that they kind of recreated the packaging to look like the old VHS boxes, I really do like and I really do appreciate. They're pretty cool. Again, like with the other one, you have the side profiles of Mystique, really cool artwork on the front, and a blurb on the back. X-Men, Marvel's Mystique. The mutant shapeshifter known only as Mystique uses her powers to infiltrate and undermine the X-Men. So yeah, again, these are solid boxes as well. So while they're not the most display friendly, you won't make shit of them by taking the figure out. And again, I just love the artwork and I love the aesthetic, the VHS aesthetic. So yeah, guys, I'm going to pause the video here. And when we come back, we'll have a closer look at Mystique and Jean. So don't go anywhere. I shall be right back. And we are back. And here is Mystique and Jean out of their boxes. And first off, we're going to have a look at Mystique, because she has a couple extra accessories that Jean doesn't. And before we look at the accessories, let's have a look at Mystique herself. So, they definitely went for the animated series version. Real kind of sinister kind of vibe offer there. A nice detailing on the face. Just this kind of aggressive kind of snarl. Or sinister kind of snarl, I don't know. You can decide. Color-wise, really nice color scheme. This kind of weird, it's kind of a subdued blue. And one thing you'll find with the animated series figures is they do seem to do a bit of shading, extra shading. And that's to kind of add a more kind of animated look and kind of shadow to her. As you see there, there's kind of a shadow kind of color put in there and around the breasts, around the waist, and even in the arms, there's kind of a shadow in the arms and finger and across the tunic there as well to kind of give it that kind of feel that there's shadow being cast over the actual material or garment. It is a nice paint scheme, but I do understand why some people would not be a fan of the whole kind of shading, kind of colouring. Again, it's done to make the figure feel more animated. Articulation-wise, her articulation isn't terrible, but it isn't up there with the kind of the super articulated Marvel Legends figures. Single joint in the elbow, as you can see. Good rotation in the arms though. Arms can go around full kind of rotation, can go up. And if needs be, you can put her into a pose like that. Head, you can move around 360. However, the length of the hair is going to stop any kind of pose you want her to be looking up or kind of looking at a particular angle. That's going to be an issue. The waist is a bit tight. I feel I could break it if I kind of move it any kind of more than I should. It just feels a bit too tight and there's a chance it might snap. Another detail I like is actually the belt, because again, this is old school kind of X-Men comics and animated series. The skull belt she has, that's pretty cool. But yeah, going back to the articulation, you can't do the Van Dammes with her, but there is a double hinge joint on the knee, so you can maybe put her into a few more dynamic poses than say earlier Marvel Legends figures. Again, it's a nice figure. I like they kind of didn't go full blue with her. It's more of a, I don't know how to explain it, it's more of a grey kind of blue. It's very subdued, but it suits the character as well. And it kind of highlights the whole animated effect. Accessory wise, she comes with some cool accessories. The first and most interesting being this little chap here. Yes, this guy here is Baby Nightcrawler. Now, the consensus for the longest period of time was that Mystique was Nightcrawler's mother. And in the early 90s, Chris Claremont, who's a crazy fucking writer, he proposed that Mystique was actually Nightcrawler's father, because obviously Mystique can shapeshift. She can also change gender. Marvel kind of shot this idea down fairly promptly, but in recent years, the idea and concept of Mystique being in a same-sex relationship with a character called Destiny and fathering a child with Destiny led to the idea that instead of being Nightcrawler's mother, she's actually his father. So that's pretty cool as well. That adds a bit more kind of depth and layer to the character. And yeah, it's a topical kind of idea that I think resonates a lot better today than it would have in the 1990s. Again, Chris Claremont, a bit of a crazy dude, but he wrote some cool ideas and some cool stuff. And maybe he was a bit ahead of his time. Who knows? But again, I just like the fact they included this little fella with her. Other accessories, because Mystique was more of an infiltrator and an assassin, she comes with some weapons. And again, because it was the animated series, there's no kind of realistic looking weapons. She comes with this big gnarly laser rifle that's just in a solid blue. And that goes with the kind of animated series aesthetic. Because, yeah, the weapons wouldn't have had too much detail. They're just like, hey, it's a laser gun. So she's got this big gnarly kind of laser rifle. And she also comes with this little blue pistol here. Again, nothing too intricate. Just solid blue. And yeah, it's got nice detail. It's not overdone. It looks the business, and it's pretty cool. And to hold said weapons, she comes with these two pistol kind of clasping hands. And you'll also notice that shading is put into the gloves as well to kind of keep the whole kind of animated aesthetic. But yeah, I don't mind. I think the kind of shading works for what they're trying to do. But again, I can understand why some people may not like them. Yeah, Mystique is probably my favorite out of the two because there's just a lot more going on with her. But that's not to say Jean doesn't look cool either. So let's have a closer look at Jean. So here is Jean Grey from the animated series. And again, nice sculpt on the face. Really nice sculpt. Kind of real, kind of full pretty face on her. And again, you'll notice they kind of went for the cell shading and shadowing on the stuff to give that animated feel. Articulation wise, same kind of deal as Mystique. Head can kind of go around. The The ponytail version is limited by the length of the ponytail, although I'd say the other version will severely limit it because she has a fuller head of hair in the secondary head she comes with. But yeah, I like the blue, and I like the belt and this kind of color, this yellow tangerine kind of color. That's pretty cool. Again, nice throwback to the animated series. But yeah, I like this figure. She has the same type of articulation as Mystique. There isn't much in the way of multiple articulation in these figures, but they're still nice, they're still cool. The head's going to be restricted by the ponytail, and I can tell you if you're using the spare head, it's going to be restricted a lot more because she has this huge mane of hair, so that's going to restrict it a hell of a lot more. Wee bit of a waist swivel, not too much. There, you just find it's kind of stiff. There's a bit of a crunch. Like with Mystique, she can't do the Van Dammes, but at least there is the double joint there, so that does work. And again, I like the aesthetic of the figure. It's a nice figure, and I like the sculpt on the face. Speaking of faces and heads, as I showed you, she comes with this secondary head, which I actually think I prefer. I might just switch them out and see what they look like with the other head. Bear with me. Pop this one on. And yeah, there she is with the other head. And I think I like this more. I think I like the fuller head of hair. It's nice. Again, with the cell shading, I don't mind it. I understand why they did it, but I can see a lot of people using maybe some kind of nail varnish or kind of paint thinner to remove that. But it's still a nice looking figure. It's still a cool figure. Other accessories she comes with are these two fists. So Jean never really got into fisticuffs with anyone, unless it was Emma Frost for fucking kind of being a hoe around Scott, but by and large, she never really fucking threw hands with anyone too much. She just used her powers to fuck people up. But yeah, guys, they are the two X-Men animated figures that Jen got me, and they kick ass. I'm going to pause the video, and when I come back, we'll have a closer comparison to some other Marvel Legends figures I own. So don't go anywhere, I shall be right back. And we are back, and there is Mystique and Jean in my alleyway. And let's put another member of the X-Men next to him. Let's put Rogue next to Mystique, because her and Mystique have quite the history. And even though that's from a different line, that Rogue's from the Age of Apocalypse line, she still works, she still blends really well. And let's put my Punisher next to Jean. See how he scales up. Yeah, that's about right. He's a wee bit taller, but that still scales up. But yeah, guys, I really like these figures. I think I prefer Mystique to Jean, but Jean's colours really pop and really kind of push the whole animated series element. Again, the kind of shading on the figures don't bother me, but I could see why people would have an issue with them. I myself don't mind them. I don't think there's any need to remove them. They still look pretty cool. They look pretty awesome on display, with or without the shading. But yeah, guys, what do you think of these figures? And also, are you going to be watching X-Men 97 when it comes to Disney Plus? Let me know in the comments below. And also let me know who was your favorite character from the animated series of X-Men from the 90s. My name's Martin, this has been the Trash Picture Show, and yeah, have a good one, take care, bye now.
Previously on X-Men.